Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, in today's conversation, in today's session, we have Miss Harsha Agarwal. Harsha is an alumna of ISB, the Indian School of Business, and she has done her master's from IIT Roorkee, and she has done her bachelor's in chemistry from Delhi University. She has uh, studied a lot, but
Yes,
despite that, she has had equally illustrious achievements in the work context of things. So she's right now working with Arthur D. Little, ADL, which is a consulting firm. She has been working there for the last 3 years. She joined after ISB as a senior business analyst, and now she is a senior consultant. So my first question to you, Harsha, is how does ADL differ in terms of its day-to-day work or the kind of clients it caters to? With respect to, let's say, the likes of McKinsey, BCG, and Accenture.
perfect. Sure. So thanks for having me here, Sarthak, and thanks for the great intro. In terms of ADL, I think overall ADL currently has a very strong presence in Middle East. The ADL India office is relatively new and it's still being set up. And so the projects that we sort of get right out of a business school when you join as a senior BA are usually split between India projects plus Middle Eastern projects. And the India projects obviously depend a lot upon what kind of pipeline do we have on a do we have at that point in time. But mostly but there is obviously definitely a steady flow of projects in Middle East. So Riyadh, Dubai, that's where ADL is relatively quite strong.
Hmm.
And hence I would say for a BA2, the split could be anywhere between like doing 80% of Middle Eastern projects.
Okay.
And it can differ. For me, it was a very different journey. When I joined ADL, I directly got pulled into like an India-based projects, and hence for me, my journey sort of remained focused on Indian projects for I think 1.5 and 2 years. I did my first Middle Eastern project, I think after 1.5 years of being at ADL,
Hmm.
but that's not the usual case because given just by the flow and also the value of the projects that we do at Middle East, which are much larger. So usually you end up doing projects which are based mostly out of Riyadh or based out of Oman, Jordan, Dubai,
Hmm.
the major Middle Eastern countries which sort of have consulting as a huge, deal. So yeah, that's there. So, and when you are on a Middle Eastern project, depending on whichever country you are, you're mostly flying out depending on what the client requirements are.
Hmm.
So that's the kind of sort of structure that ADL has currently.
Hmm.
And in terms of the projects, again, ADL is present across different sectors. So TNT as in travel and transport is very big.
Yeah.
Then the public sector in general, because Middle East generally has like a strong consulting, strong, presence in terms of all the public entities. Hence, there are a lot of public sector work as well.
Hmm.
And then you have finance, PE, a little bit of that, healthcare, automotive. So a little bit of everything. But I think travel is quite big. Energy utilities is actually also quite big.
Exactly.
So those are the kinds of clients that we work with on a regular basis. And these projects or the client relationships that ADL have usually are long term.
Got it.
So it can look like that you end up getting pulled into a long-term client's project and then you continue doing similar projects
Hmm.
across your journey. Or you can you can sort of be, moved from one project to other, depending on what your profile is or what kind of experiences you have. And also what maybe to some extent what your interests are as well.
Hmm.
I think starting out in consulting, even in MBBs, there's not like a lot of pick and choose that you'd get to do. But sometimes, yeah, once you become a little more senior, I guess that's when you sort of get to
Hmm.
streamline what kind of an industry you want to work in.
Got it.
So I think that's majorly it. I think differing from MBBs, right? Like ADL, for sure, at this point in time, if anybody's joining ADL, they would definitely be working with a Middle Eastern client for sure.
Hmm.
And if they're lucky, maybe, there will be a couple of Indian projects that they get to pick from. But
Got it.
yeah, that's pretty
And
much.
do you get a chance to travel to the Middle Eastern office, or is it a global engagement where you're sitting out of India but serving a Middle Eastern client?
No, so it's not like a global capability network type of setup at all. It's a proper consulting
Wow.
client-facing project that you get. So you
Wow.
do travel quite often. Like I have done projects where I was traveling every week to Riyadh
Oh,
because
wow.
and it was like a 4 month long engagement. So I was in Riyadh every week.
Hmm.
That happens. Of course, a lot of projects, all projects are structured differently based on client needs, right?
Hmm.
Hence, if the client requires the team to be on site throughout, then and if you're a part of the team you will travel. A
Hmm.
lot of times the team is structured as such that maybe the senior clients are on site and a BA might only travel for a few weeks which are important, and
Hmm.
rest of the time you're working remotely from India. But yeah, it's a mix.
Very nice. And I saw that you had a rank 6. Uh, Now I'm a little jealous because I had a rank 8
Oh
in,
wow.
in my cohort. So tell me something. When you went to ISB, did you have this singular goal in mind कि मेरे को consulting में ही जाना है?
Kind of, yeah, to be honest. Because my background pre-MBA has also been a little bit of a niche consulting sort of a
Hmm.
space. So I was working in this intellectual property research and consulting space, which is also client facing. So
Hmm.
I always wanted to, but since it was a very niche and technical domain, there was not a lot of business problems that we were solving. And
Hmm.
hence my reason to do an MBA or to sort of go into was to be able to come to the business side.
Hmm.
And hence, when I went to ISB, definitely plan A was consulting.
Hmm.
Of course, I was open to other roles and other opportunities, but yeah, client
So
consulting was plan A.
you gave it your all for the for the academic equation when it comes to getting consulting shortlist. But what else did you have in mind कि मेरे को ये सब चीजों पे equally focus करना है barring academics to get a consulting shortlist?
I know it in hindsight, everything sounds very preachy, but the thing is that I didn't go. While I went, I wanted to do consulting. That's the goal that I went in with.
Hmm.
But given the kind of conversations I'd had with ISB alums, I was not sure that I would be able to crack the academic aspect of it
Hmm.
because like ISB is full of like brainy people who've been at the top of their class. So I was not sure, and given I don't come from a traditional background that people like usually excel at, right? Like
Yeah.
I didn't have an engineering degree or a commerce or a financial
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
So I was not sure that I'll be able to do that, but it sort of worked out for me. I thought I just felt that I was able to sort of crack the academic part of it fairly easily.
Hmm.
Hence, I spent my time doing everything else that people do at ISB,
Hmm.
partying, being a part of clubs, spending a lot of time with my quaddies. So I
Got
think, yeah.
any reason for not taking up a conventional POR, let's say in a consulting club or in an analytics club or in a healthcare club?
Never been very interested in sort of holding the
Hmm.
POR bit of it. I think that's because I had done my undergrad and then my master's, and
Yeah.
I had already done all of that. So that really didn't
Hmm.
entice me as much. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, I would rather focus my energy on doing things that I have not done before.
Got it.
Hence, academics obviously was part of it, but like just not networking, like just, making connections with people, hanging out with people,
Hmm.
experiencing the other side of ISB, which is like, the fun side of it was, I think, also something which was important to me. So I did that along
Got
with
it.
my time that I had.
Got it. And can you tell me how many interviews did ADL take? I mean, you have a typical consulting shortlist for which
Yeah.
you have to prepare a CV, but how many interviews did you give and what were these interviews like?
Right. So back in 2022, when I was interviewing for ADL, I think the structure of interviews was a little different compared to what it is now because I've also been part of the recruitment. So in terms of what I went through, I think I had 4 rounds. A few of more all of them were either principal or partner rounds,
Okay.
and more I think two of them had cases in it. One was with the managing partner Thomas, so he
Hmm.
does something very interesting. I would say it's I think he's just testing out people based on what he thinks of them.
Hmm.
So it was just something about finance and a mix of some I would say some psychological testing as well. I don't know what to call it.
Wow.
And then there was the final round with Barnick, who was the managing partner of India back then.
Hmm.
Currently, the way interviews happen, as far as I am aware, is that you do have at least two case rounds, wherein maybe a senior manager or a senior consultant would do the first screening. Then there will be a partner round, another, like, senior principal or a partner round, where there would be another case round, and
Hmm.
then a final senior partner round, where, depending on who is a part of that recruitment process that year, it could
Hmm.
be Thomas or some senior partner from Dubai
Got
or
it.
India, depending on, again, what kind of what availabilities people have and all of that.
Got it. So it's a
Yeah.
mixture of behavioral guesstimates and cases.
Yes, guest behavioral, I think usually in consulting, the way it's usually is, right? That the few key questions are, why do you want to do consulting, and how do you understand what consulting is, and things around those lines. And
Hmm.
those are usually done by maybe the partner, or also a little bit by the senior principal partner, whosoever is interviewing you. But yes, there will be two cases at least, which one of which could be a guesstimate, and the other could be like a proper case that we do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Understood. And does ADL hire from other B schools as well in the country?
Yeah. So I think so far the list has been ISB, IM, ABC, and L. That's what
Hmm.
I'm aware of.
Hmm.
So that's pretty much it. I don't know if it's changed this year or the last year,
Hmm.
because I was not involved in the recruitment.
Got it.
Currently, also, I think ADL has been hiring more for the Riyadh and Dubai offices,
Okay.
as opposed to the India office.
Hmm.
Uh, so again, that would, because the hiring's happening for Riyadh or a Middle Eastern sort of a role, the
Hmm.
interviews or the structure might differ a little bit.
Got it.
But usually, I think consulting anyway has this structure where you have a couple of case rounds and one round with the senior partner, or
Yeah.
so I think it's very similar.
Got it.
Yeah.
And typically, what's the CTC that a senior business analyst is hired at? During my time, the CTC that ADL offered was very competitive. I think it was 31 lakhs per annum.
Which year did you graduate? Sorry,
2021.
after 21. Yeah, so I graduated in 22, and that was during my time, the package they were offering was 35.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's as
And
good as BCG.
yes, very competitive, like you said. I'm again not sure of what it's like right now, but I'm sure it's similarly competitive. And given if the hiring's happening for Middle East anyway, the numbers would look very different, because
Yeah.
Dubai, you are aware, has a very different structure in terms of compensation when it comes to consulting. So
Hmm.
that could
And
be
what's the
way more competitive
trajectory?
as well.
Got it. And what's the trajectory like? I mean, you get promoted after every 1.5 years. And how
No.
does the
So currently, the way it's structured is that you have an assessment every 6 months.
oh wow.
And yeah. And based on what your performance is like in the competitions, like, you can like, it is possible for you to move every step, like one step ahead every cycle, every six
Got it.
months.
Hmm.
But the way it is structured is that there are three levels at each cohort. So a business analyst has BA1, BA2, BA3, consultant
Hmm.
has C1, C2, C3,
Three.
manager has that.
Hmm.
So an MBA joining as a BA2 can ideally, in an ideal state, move to a BA3, and then a C1, and then a C2, and then a C3 after every 6 months.
Hmm.
Of course, that's a very rare thing to happen, but not that rare as well, because in my year, me and I think one more person did that. And then the next year, also people from ISBs, specifically people who join from ISB, I think because they already have like a past experience, that sort of helps them get promoted quickly,
Hmm. Got it.
in- as compared to like folks from IM who are probably also freshers. So
Hmm.
just to make sure that they have just more time to grow professionally, they are usually kept or given like a 1 year time to at least move to a C role.
Got it.
Yeah.
As you climb from one branch, let's say SBA to consultant to
Yeah.
senior consultant, how does the paycheck move? Is it, let's say, a 30-40% hike or much more than that?
No, I wouldn't say it's a lot, because, like I said, see, if you're moving every 6 months, the increment can't be very high,
Very
right?
high, very
Because
true.
So there is a jump when you're moving from a BA to a consultant, but then on the same C1 to C2 to C3, the jump is not very significant. There is like I think of 20% increment that happens with each sort of a cohort.
Got
But
it.
and then again, once you move from C3 to a manager, there would be a significant jump of maybe 30 to 40%. So
Got
I
it.
think that's how it is structured.
Got it. Apart from the geographical differences that ADL has in terms of its clientele, what do you think makes ADL different from other consulting firms, be it with respect to your work life or camaraderie or hiring or anything?
Um, to be honest, I think the major difference is that ADL is relatively small, right?
Hmm.
So the kind of opportunities that you get uh, are again could be very interesting because for me, for example, like I said, right, like I was pulled into a India project right when I joined, and
Hmm.
it was and that sort of built my trajectory. So I was doing very good projects in India because we were getting a very few projects, but they were all very good quality projects.
Hmm.
So that's the case. And even in Middle East, right, it's relatively small if you compare it to like the likes of BCG, Carney, and all of that.
Hmm.
And hence, you are usually always staffed if you're performing well.
Hmm.
Right. So that way you don't really have to fight for projects. In
Hmm.
fact, there is a possibility that of course, all of this depends on the fact that you're performing well. But
Yeah.
if that's happening, then there is a chance that people will be fighting to have you on your team, as opposed to you fighting to get projects, which usually happens at MBBs, right? Because you have to really plan, make sure that you are visible so that people pick you up on projects. That doesn't happen at ADL much.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's quite a big advantage in
Hmm.
terms of growth also, right? Because if
Hmm.
you're on project and you are doing well, then your
Hmm.
trajectory sort of sorted.
Got it.
Yeah.
Last question for you is tell me two things about ISB that only an alum or a student will know and an outsider will not know, be it student life, be it your sleep cycle, be it parties, be it campus culture, be it academics, be it placements.
Wow, okay. That's a tricky one. I mean, it's not tricky because we end up talking about ISB so much that I think I forgot what everybody know, what people would I would normally know and what not. I think one thing that comes to mind would be the kind of parties that we have, right? Like I feel after speaking to a lot of folks from other MBA schools as well, I feel like the kind of parties that ISB has, whether you talk about like flubs or in general, like the birthday parties. I was in the Mohali campus, by the way. So we used to go to everybody's birthday parties.
Wow.
It was not limited to, oh, I know this person or this person's my friend.
Hmm.
You end up there at a birthday party because somebody knows them or you know them through someone else. So
Yeah,
there's always a party happening on campus because it's somebody's birthday. So
very true.
I think that's something that definitely comes to mind. And in terms of and the other thing, I think academics में तो ऐसा कुछ different नहीं है. I think everybody has a similar experience.
Hmm.
What else? The teachers are, I think, pretty like the class experience is a lot of fun because you sort of you end up experiencing a kind of academic culture where you what you that you've not seen before, right? I
Yeah.
think the kind of professors that you get, especially the ones that are visiting, even actually the ones that are in house. So the kind of classes that they put together and the interactions that you have and everything, it's quite unique. I
Yeah.
would say the whole sort of setup, case study based classes and everything. It's quite unique, and I think
So you have professors from the kinds of Wharton, Kellogg, LBS in my time. Who else? Which other school?
no, I don't remember the names, but yeah, I remember the professors. I don't remember their pedigrees to be very honest.
Got
Yes,
it.
but definitely, I think the whole just the experience is very different. I
Mhm.
have not experienced anything like that outside
Very
of
true.
ISB for sure.
Very true. And thank you so much, Harsha, for this super insightful conversation. I'm 100% sure that this will benefit all consulting aspirants.
I hope so, and I would also like to wish everybody, the best for placement seasons happened already, or it'll start, right?
It will start, yeah, soon.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I think yeah, I hope it helps people because you can use all the help at that point in time, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Sarthak.